Well, with that, we get to move to the next segment of the workshop today, and then I'll be sharing a survey with all of you. Let me share that. Can everyone see the slide? Okay. So this is the last segment, human-centered AI in education again. And so, as a part of our efforts to better understand the future potential needs of AI in education and hear diverse voices from the education community, we have conducted a preliminary online survey at the end of the last year in Korea and also in the US. And in the past several weeks, we were able to compile the responses from Korea first. So we would like to share our findings in a summative form here. Other surveys from different countries will be shared as they are analyzed and summarized. So stay in touch. So here's the result from Korea. I think that we can learn something from here. We were able to collect responses from about 500 participants who are currently students, teachers, parents, and also individuals who are working in the corporate world linked to the education technology. As we are reaching the conclusion of this workshop, I'll go over the findings quickly and share some insights that might be helpful for us to plan future collaboration strategies and directions for future education practices. As you can see, we have a quite good mix of participants from the 20s to 50s of their age, with the 20s being the largest representation. The initial question shared with how to best describe AI as they understand. We took the descriptions of the different levels of maturity of AI from ETRI, Electronics Telecommunications Research Institute, and used it in our survey to make sure we are talking about the same thing. So the majority of the participants agreed that the current state of AI has the ability to engage in basic discourse with humans and also has the ability to expand its knowledge to other fields with some form of human interventions. Most people seem to agree that the current state of AI is quite beyond the stage of rule-based algorithms, but at the same time, it's not yet reached the point where AI can expand its knowledge without human interventions or demonstrate its own independent human-like personality or emotions. Interestingly, many participating teachers have indicated that they can confidently explain AI's capabilities to others. Parents seem to be least confident, but overall, participants in our survey seem to be somewhat confident about their understanding of AI today. I remind you that those who said yes to participate in the survey did so because they have been following up with the trends of AI advancement and also tried some of the tools and systems available to them. This level of confidence gives us somewhat convincing credibility to their responses on our follow-up questions. From the participants, on average, people seem to think of AI as to date as something useful. Obviously, there are many AI examples that are highly exploratory and still in the experimental stage. I'm also one of those who are working on experimental AI coach solutions, so I know this. What's interesting to me is that teachers indicate the usefulness of AI more than others, and I wonder if that comes from the desperate hope in the current circumstance with the pandemic. After teaching for an extensive period in online education environment in the past 12 months, I totally have a sympathy for them. At the same time, most participants are quite realistic in terms of AI's current capability to actually solve any education problems we are facing in the field today. As you can see, we did not have a strong signal from the participants about the use of AI to solve today's immediate problems in education. Our participants have indicated that AI could potentially help solve some of the problems in the future, but there are inherent limitations with the AI today. If you look at the types of issues, there's a huge gap between the gravity of the problem versus the level of confidence in AI to address it. The largest gap was found in the lack of social emotional dimension. Other dimensions such as task automation in administration or pattern analysis in identifying at-risk students seem quite convincing. In fact, I know multiple companies that are already offering services incorporating these features for large school districts. So, in short, AI will have to go a long way to be useful in addressing the areas of social emotional learning challenges. On follow-up questions, the participants indicated the reasons for their expressed concerns. We have talked about potential issues such as biased algorithms or inequality gaps AI may introduce in the future for a while. But here more substantially, the participants picked the human and emotional elements that AI will be lacking, even AI is supposedly advancing rapidly as we speak. If you dig deeper, you will see that our participants indicated that the AI won't be able to mimic or replace authentic learning opportunities that involve social interactions in the face-to-face environment. I think this is a big homework for all of us. Obviously, it is becoming a serious concern for the current generation of young students who never get to see and play with their friends in person without their masks off. And we can only imagine what kind of effect this current phenomenon might have on their emotional development pathway. All other issues are quite classic issues we have covered for some time already. Since we're living under the current pandemic, people seem to be more positive about the potential role of AI in education. Perhaps some are even anxious that mature AI must be utilized to help teachers now with the ongoing online education saga. Whether people like it or not, non-face-to-face education is prevalent today, and we heavily depend on technology anyway. What I'm reading from the responses is that we need assistance and we need it now. That's the hope now. When we deploy AI-based assistance in classrooms, we need it to be flexible, accessible, and enticing all learners with highly personalized coaching capabilities. In terms of what AI is currently doing and what it may do in the very near future, people have indicated classical needs such as personalized content, curation, and coaching, and advanced data analysis. So here are the comments that we found repeatedly in the survey results. AI in education should enable true one-on-one customization, complementing online and classroom. AI in education should not simply be a subset of AI technology, rather it should lead us towards the new paradigm of human interaction and learning. And addressing issues around ethics and equity will help earn trust needed for AI in education to proliferate. So hopefully these were interesting to you and somewhat and useful while thinking about the future directions in your work. These are available for you. Please contact me or EdNet team if you'd like to get copies of these, or if you have comments, suggestions, and feedback. And so, thank you for your attention.
Paul, I really like that survey. In one sense, there's some hopeful things in there, and I wanted to come back to actually something Cassandra said actually at the beginning of the day. And the time zone wasn't right for you to be here, Paul, but actually, she actually it's kind of an offhand remark saying, oh, hey, I know we're not going to talk about teachers today. And then because assumed that if we're talking about AI for kids, she's thinking we're going to be talking about AI to put in front of kids' faces. I was looking at some of the survey questions about what do we think the computers are going to be able to do in AI. And I don't think we've thought broadly enough about the cool role that AI could do in empowering teachers to do stuff differently. I don't know. I just thought I'd actually surface it. I was impressed with Cassandra's just comment and maybe kind of the assumption, but I hope we walk away with some bigger ideas about what AI could do other than just actually be some solo device actually with kids. I don't know, like you sit in a school of ed. What do you think, Kim?
Well, I like to believe that people think of AI as a tool to augment and empower teachers.
Yeah.
And I agree with the future capability of AI where it can transmit information. It can help in teaching or clarifying information and so forth. So I would say AI would play a significant role in transferring the knowledge to students, but I would say AI would not be the sort of the feature that would teach our kids wisdom. And that's where I think a teacher's role comes to play. And I think the teacher's role has to transform as well as AI is advancing in the future. So that's how I would like to believe that many people agree with this. And then when we are developing AI, hopefully these points are incorporated and considered.
Yeah.
So I think we covered a lot of ground today. We started day with Thomas Frey, his prediction 2030. I always enjoy his predictions. And he said that the biggest learning company will be the largest company in the world. And I think he's referring to the company you and I will be starting, right? So
Yes.
Also heard from educators about the challenges and opportunities. So I believe that through collaboration, I think that's the key. Collaboration will be able to make a difference together. What do you think, Neil?
Well, I was impressed. We actually had, I think 6 really good poster sessions, and actually 2 invited speakers, and 7 actually papers that actually really dug deep into this data set. And boy, was I impressed when I saw one of the winners is just a high school teacher in Spain. And when I was a middle school teacher, I did not have time to be doing AI and winning competitions. But there's something kind of cool about this world that's even possible. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. There are a lot of potentials that we talked about. And then I think that the last panel, I think that kind of sets the stage for the future thinking when we are envisioning of the future of AI. I think addressing those key points that are shared by Joy and Cassandra and Adam. I think we've got to keep that in our heart as we are also, I mean, we are enthusiasts, right? So sometimes we talk about a lot of positive things, but at the same time, we need to make sure that the society understands what the consequences may be if things are not right. And also, more importantly, our young generation learners, the students who are in schools right now, because they're going to be leaders. So I think that I really like to ask everyone to think about how do we put these important points that we shared in the real curriculum, so that kids are learning and growing with the concepts and points that we have shared about the ethics and diversity, inclusion, and all these important points. So as an educator, we need to keep that in mind.
Well, actually, Paul, I think we're ending on a good note. Actually, I want to thank you. I want to thank all of our speakers, all of our listeners. Actually, it's been a long day, but I'm actually always actually somewhat hopeful. So let's thank actually the Riiid company and actually the various sponsors, and thank you, the tech team, for helping me actually put the survey actually up in the links there. So without further ado, actually, you should all have a good night, and thanks for coming.
Thank you, everybody. Let's stay in touch.